If you say today is a good day, do you still have bad days then? Or is it just like life in general is now just much better since you changed jobs? Because like winter's starting, right? So I don't know, there's gonna be a lot of I feel like we're getting to the point, like I think we're still sort of like we still have a few weeks, but I feel like we're getting to the point where like winter depression is gonna hit. So that's gonna be a few interesting talks. I used to travel around dealing directly with intense customers, McDonald's, KFC, etc. Oh, damn, okay. We needed stuff fixed straight away while people are stood watching. Yeah, no pressure, right? No pressure. It's just they're like breathing down your neck, and you literally probably like hear them like, oh my god. That's, ooh, you need to be a special type of person, I feel like that, or to just sort of tolerate that for a longer period of time. I think that's so stressful. So now you're sort of like just like an online support, like talking to people. I still have very bad days. Social anxiety can kick my butt some days, but I have more good days than bad now. Oh, I feel you. I also have social anxiety. Sucks ass. It's like also so annoying, right? Because it's like you want to meet with people sometimes. Like you don't really want to isolate yourself from society, but it's just sort of like hard to take part in society. Yeah. So that's probably like really good for your social anxiety then, right? To be able to work at home. Like when I was working, I also like started from working at home and I loved it. I loved it so much more. Like I was working in IT, not IT support, but just like software developer. And it was like long. It was like an internship. But I don't know. I was in this like office with three other people. So there were like 4 tables. One of those was mine, and then 3 other people's. And I don't know. It was. I feel like with IT especially, there's just times where you sort of like you need a break. Like your brain needs a break because you're like, I looked at this so long now. I don't get anything at this point anymore. Like it's sort of like when a problem is like hard and then like you look into it, you're like really concentrated the entire time. And if your energy then sort of like bottoms out before you have the problem fixed, I feel like it's just, I don't know, you just try to look more into it, but you don't get anything anymore. And it feels like a foreign language or something. And it doesn't like, I personally, I don't notice it that easily. So I only notice it when I start to believe that everything could be the problem now because I'm like, so it could come from here too and there too and this and that. Because like before that wasn't really my concern, but at some point my concentration is like so low that I'm not sure about what I know anymore. And yeah, I feel like then you just need a break. And I feel like being in the office is so annoying in that moment because it should be normalized to take a break like this, right? But I always feel so like back then especially, I felt so watched, sort of. Like if I now just like sit back and like, like breathe for like 5 minutes to sort of like calm down, or if I just like go grab a coffee now, which is, I don't know, like the third time today or something, then like people will sort of be like, oh yeah, she's not working properly or stuff like this. And I don't know, I loved it at home way more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That you have the option to sort of like adjust to your own mental state. That's really nice. What is the worst part about your social anxiety in the office? Or like your social anxiety in general? Like, what is a bad day specifically, sort of? Thankfully, my office is only me and oh, nice. Hmm. I bet. Oh, that's great. So yeah, what sort of does what is a bad day for you? Like, is there something that happens, or is it just sort of like you didn't sleep right, you wake up and it's shit from the start? Or is it like something happened on the day before which hasn't resolved? Like, did you recognize any type of pattern to this? Or like know where it's like sort of coming from? For me, it's been like really helpful to sort of I don't know, like to get an idea of what like overstimulates me, um, and what's sort of like crashing me out, to then be able to sort of not necessarily avoid those situations, but just in those situations care better for myself. A very bad day will be laying in bed shaking, not wanting to see anyone. But thankfully that hasn't happened for a few years. So now when tired I still get anxiety attacks, but I have tools to stop them. But then it takes a few hours to recover. Hmm. Hmm. That's really bad. I'm glad you didn't have that for a few years. I'm glad it got better. It seems really scary as well. Do you want to share what the anxiety attacks are sort of like about? It started from another previous job doing support in a school and being accused of something I didn't do, and how I was treated by management. Hmm. So that's sort of like where the anxiety is coming from, that you sort of are then like triggers that like other people, like situations where you think like other people are sort of like suspicious of you, and or like I don't know, like talk bad about you or something like this. Because the fear is that you're sort of like getting bullied out of the next job. Hmm. Being aggressive. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't like that either. People being aggressive is really tough. Is it just like openly aggressive? Or is it this weird passive aggressiveness where I like pretend, like to me, that's like being openly aggressive is like it's scary, but it's not really giving me sort of like an anxiety attack, I think. I didn't experience that much. But to me it's really this like this sort of hidden, not really hidden because it's really obvious, but like sort of like this aggressiveness where they pretend to still be logic, um and then you need to sort of like find arguments and stuff like this, but they just dismiss any type of arguments, um and sort of like cherry pick anything you said, and I don't know. So sort of it just feels like it gets worse and worse, and the other person is like uncooperative in the conversation, but at the same time judging you. Yeah, it's not, what I mean is not really passive aggressiveness. Passive aggressiveness is what we usually describe with that is like, yeah, just like these like snarky remarks or something, which is like not a situation that escalates usually. I've always been very pedantic, so arguments I can deal with as long as there's a reason behind their point. Yeah, that's sort of actually the thing why these things, like, why I crash out from those situations. Because it seems like they sort of they act like there's reason behind their arguments, but they don't really offer any arguments and just dismiss any of my arguments and dismiss it with the most irrelevant things at all. So like they don't make the argument like invalid or anything. They don't prove it wrong, not any of that. It's just like I make an argument and then they like, I don't know. And like the point of the conversation is also always changing. Because they sort of like they just want to win, but they pretend it's about logic. You know what I mean? It's like ego covered in fancy words, if that makes sense. And those situations are really difficult for me because I don't like, I'm probably autistic and I don't really, yeah, I always get stuck in these. Because it's like, I'm usually sort of like surprised that the other person didn't get it because to me, the argument is not about something new. It's about something really obvious. And then I make arguments, but they get dismissed. And instead of just sort of like setting my foot down on those arguments and being like, I mean, of course you dismiss them, but they're still valid. So like either like see my point or get lost. Like, what do you want from me? I'm like, oh fuck, okay, these arguments didn't work. I need to find other arguments. And then at some point I laid out like 100 arguments, all of them got dismissed. And their argument is just essentially like, no, I don't think so. Period. And it like socially looks like they're winning, even though it's absolutely mind-boggling what they're saying, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's also like usually there's like a sense of like there's there's harmful implications to society if their side comes out of on top, sort of. But yeah, because they dismiss it with like sort of like fancy words and like pretending to be logical, it's I get distracted from what like that they're dismissing the argument. And I get caught up in these like new things I now need to explain. And it's definitely like it has gotten better. So I started therapy a couple of years ago. And it's like way better now. But this one has been like those situations have been eating me up. Like because I also didn't realize how stressed I was. Until I was like low-key at the point of a panic attack. So really difficult situation, I feel like. Yeah. So you also have started therapy? Like you said you now like have like different strategies to like deal with the anxiety? Did you get them like through therapy or did you just sort of like find them out on your own? Cognitive behavior therapy. Oh, what is that like? Actually, let me look it up real quick. Because like since I got therapy in the Netherlands, I'm always not entirely sure if I might not just like know that. Hmm. Thankfully, in my country, we have very good mental health care for beginning of issues, but not brilliant for ongoing support. Oh, but that's good to hear, actually. Like, for me, I feel like in the Netherlands, it's definitely sort of like same-ish, I would say. Like, it's like I really got like support like really quick, sort of, which was really nice. And the support I get right now, or like I have gotten so far, is definitely also really good, I feel like. Especially for the fact that I don't speak Dutch yet to the point where I can like use it in therapy. Because like most therapists don't like do therapy in English. But even so, I was able to like find therapists in English and actually have like a really good match with a English therapist. And I don't know, I just know that like to me like really helped. And I know that people who are actually Dutch can get like even more support from the system because they can use like all of these like different options, right? But yeah, I don't actually know how it's too much about ongoing support either. I just know that I'm at like a so the first year I was like at a normal therapist, and then I was sent over to sort of like a specialist, which is sort of like they then have like it's sort of like a bigger thing with like multiple different therapists where they have like a section for like trauma therapy, a section for like art therapy and sport therapy, and then like personality disorder part, and then I don't know, like many others. And you sort of then get like you have like your main therapist, and then you sort of get other therapists at that as well with like all the different things you want to do, sort of. But all of that is still sort of timed. Like they want you to be done with this within 2 years. And so for me, I'm like about to end my therapy there. Like essentially like end of this year is probably my therapy is gonna end. So it's like, yeah, I was done in the UK is 12 weeks. Oh, damn. But like for the specialist, like because so for there's like these like sort of like there's mental health coaches or something like this where you can get like an appointment like the next day essentially at your doctor's like your doctor's place sort of and those people are not like therapists, but you just sort of go there if you don't really know what to do with your life and stuff like this, if you need just like a little bit of help sort of. And if they see like, okay, you need like a little bit more help, or if your doctor is already seeing like, okay, like this is like we need an actual therapist sort of, then you get to the like a sort of like a general therapist. And with the general therapist, you can have up to like 10 sessions. And so I was at the general therapist. I got like a diagnosis done for ADHD, which I didn't have. And that sort of made it longer. Yeah, exactly, Dr. Picklework. Welcome, welcome. We're at the moment just like sort of like generally talking about therapy and how therapy works in the Netherlands, and for Retonian has explained how it works in England actually. Oh, you have not felt the best? Yeah. You can talk here, you can share. No problem. We're here to listen. Yeah. So for me, for the specialist therapist, it took like half a year to actually switch there and get help there. But with them, it's like 2 years, it's maximum. So do you want to just start sharing, Dr. Picklerig? I got dumped like a couple days ago and I don't know what I did wrong. Did you know that you did something wrong? Because sometimes we didn't do anything wrong. Hmm. I mean, what did they said when they dumped you? Alright, see you in a second, Oratonian. But I'm really sorry for you that you got dumped. It was your first relationship and it lasted 2 weeks. And you feel used. Oh. Can I ask how old you are? I don't mind if you're younger or something. I just sort of like... Okay. It's... If it helps you in any way, relationships, if you're young, are really... They're hard, you know? Because people don't really know what a relationship means, and they also don't really know how to articulate what it means for them. Because especially if it's your first relationship, and maybe also the first relationship with the person you've been with, there's like a lot of sort of like guessing, just seeing from adults, seeing from their like from people around them, and then just being like, okay, so this is what you do, so I'm gonna do that now. But not really, you know, like knowing why. It's a fad? Even then, I think most people still don't really know what relationships are really about. Because if you're like young like that, you don't even really know what you yourself are about, right? You don't really know what you need or what you want or what you look for in someone. And so I think you don't really, you know, don't put too much blame on yourself. Like, this is short relationships, and relationships that young are really like a lot about finding out how stuff works. And I don't mean sexually, I just mean how love works, how commitment works, how loyalty works, how love feels, sort of like how compliments feel, how like, because there's a lot of different love languages, right? And I don't know, just sort of like which love language is something you like and which is something you don't like, and what type of person is someone who you like and don't get bored with, and what type of person is maybe one you don't like. It seems a bit selfish that she was seeing if she could cope with a relationship, so that's where my feelings of use came from. Yeah, this is also something, right? Like, sadly, this is something which I'm just gonna tell you now, there's like, even if you're older, like even in my age, there's a lot, even in like parents' age, there's still people who try to cope with relationships. And sort of like filtering them out and like not not ending up with a relationship with one of those people is a skill, definitely. Because, yeah, that's really like this happens more often than I want to say. Yeah, this is not really surprising me, actually. Welcome, Fluffy. But yeah, I think it's not necessarily, I really don't like to say like with age comes with wisdom, because there's people who stay ignorant, like there's people who stay unwise with age. But yeah, just sort of learning from this experience can really help. So, and just know that this feeling of like being used is entirely valid. And like a lot of the feelings we have are actually not so much about the other person than they are about us. I have an ego, but I don't engage with it and fall for the trap. Just don't act phased from it. No, don't do that. Like, stay with your feelings, you know? It's not weak to have believed in a relationship and have believed in love. It's actually, I feel like it's honestly a positive trait. It means that you're hopeful and that you take feelings seriously and that you take people seriously, you know? And that you don't expect the worst from people. And oh yeah, I think that's good. I think that's not bad. I think that's good. I feel like in our society, it's honestly like it's so weird that it's like that we teach boys like you or possibly or like people like you to like chase after others who dumped us. Like it's something like women actually get like taught as well, right? With like sort of like comparing like to the new girl and then like trying to sort of like show him like, oh, I'm so much better than her and whatever, and like trying to make them like jealous and like this like revenge glow up of like, yeah, I don't know, regret that you broke up with me. Like, no, we don't do that. This is about you, and if you deserve someone who wants to be with you. It's honestly, it's a really bad habit to chase after people or want to be with people who don't want you. Like it leads to all sorts of problems and usually toxic relationships. So if there's one wisdom, you can just like really like take it from me and just, you know, like it's never bad. Don't chase after people or try to be with people who don't want to be with you. Only stay where you're loved. Like genuinely loved. And I mean this for friends and anybody you have any type of relationship with. Only stay where you're appreciated, respected, and loved. You don't need to, you know, like convince someone to love you. Like also you can't, like that's the other thing. But don't even try to, because otherwise like what is that love worth, you know? Like she told me I don't want to do this anymore, so I said okay, and I'm just not acting phased, so she doesn't benefit from it. Because she looks like the bad guy here. I don't like having anyone feel bad, so I just said we choose to and not her. I mean, I think you can show your feelings. I think it's okay to be phased from this. I think it's okay and really relatable actually to feel sad after you've been dumped, you know? You don't need to like put that on her. You don't need to be angry at her or like revenge for like the negative feelings or anything. But you also don't need to like cover it up, you know? Like you can just be a little bit gloomy till it's over. Like you can like, I don't know, like there's consequences to behavior. And it's okay if like in the next, I don't know, like group work, you don't want to be in a group with her. And I don't know, it's okay to not feel like talking to her if she like joins your friend group or something. You know? And I feel like in a weird way, you know, we really need to feel the feelings. At least I didn't get dumped after a couple months. I think that would have been worse. Yeah. Definitely. The longer a relationship goes, the more it hurts usually. Just because there's more feelings involved, right? But this is why relationships are hard, you know? And like finding the right person is hard. And that's also why everybody should really try to actually find the right person before, I don't know, just before committing to something like really, really long term or something. Hmm. I mean, then it's, I guess, easier to sort of feel your emotions, maybe. But yeah, I don't think it's too much about you. I think she doesn't really know what she's looking for, you know? And you probably also don't really. And I think she maybe can't really articulate what she needs from someone or a partner, you know? And ads? Ads. Just gotta wait till you guys come back. Snapchat streaks with you. Oh my god, I feel old. What is that? I had Snapchat back in the day. But not anymore. Okay, so she's still sending you snaps? How is she doing the streak then? Like I thought like she needs to send you like a snap to do the streak still? Does she only send you like a black screen or like how does it work? Enlighten me. Just unfriend her. I don't know. Like, honestly, this is something you can do for yourself now. Like, this is actually like, you know what? Let's get into this. You have the responsibility to care for yourself. And there's a lot of things where society tells you like, oh, that would be dramatic, that would be too much, this would be this, that's whiny, whatever, whatever, whatever. There's a lot of things and expectations society has and puts on you. And there's going to be different expectations from women, and there's going to be different expectations from men, and there's going to be different expectations sort of like coming to you. And there's one thing, like, you can never do it right. You can never do it right. Like, for other people. Because other people will always be like, I don't know, well, you know? Like, you can never make everybody happy on this planet. This is not how it works. You're not meant to be everybody's friend. You're not meant to be good with everybody. Okay? But what you can do, and how you can do it right, is you do the right thing for yourself. If you feel bad whenever she's sending you like the stupid ass like bus floor picture, and you're like, you feel like you just dumped me, leave me the fuck alone, what do you want from me? Unfriend her. If you want that. Or block her, or tell her to stop sending you those pictures. You know? And it doesn't... And if you then get any looks, first of all, again, you can't do it right for everybody. Second of all, if it's really bothering you, you can just ask. You can just, you see that look, and then you just like, why do you look at me? What have I done? Explain it to me. You know? Like you can ask for clarification on those looks to like try to find out. But on the other hand, you also don't really know what these looks means entirely. Like there's a lot of different things going on, I'm sure of it. Some of those people might actually like think like, damn, okay, like there's actually consequences. Like he actually like, he's now like distancing himself from her, like what? You know? Welcome everybody, thank you for the raid. Ace Clockwork, welcome. How you guys doing? We're doing a mental health stream, and at the moment we're talking with Dr. Pickle-Rick because they have recently been dumped. Yeah. If she does boring pictures, I'm gonna take black photos. You don't need to take any photos. You can just also send her no photos. You know? Like, you can do whatever you want. You know? Like, it's, I mean, of course, it also, like, everybody else can do whatever they want as well, right? So, like, I don't know, like, you could technically tell her, like, fuck off, why are you sending me pictures? I don't want to hear anything from you anymore. She might type something rude back. Like, that, you know, like, that's fair. Like, you can do whatever you want, she can do whatever you want. So it's sort of, like, always some, like, a balance you sort of strike, you know? But there's a lot of different options you have. And says the person who just rated a woman. Exactly. But how have you been doing? Is everything fine? And how are you viewers? But yeah, you don't need to interact with her. You don't need to send photos back. You know, if you don't want to have that streak with her anymore, then don't. If you don't want to talk to her anymore, then don't. If you want clarification and actually know why she broke up, you can ask her. And it's, you know, you probably won't get like anything you want. Like, Like, you can always, like, ask the person if they want to give you clarification, and it's gonna happen somewhere in your life that they don't. There's gonna, like, I think probably everybody of us in the stream here has had one relationship end in a way where they didn't know what the fuck was going on and why it ended, and get, like, proper clarification. And has asked for it but didn't get it. And that's always sometimes the case. I'm just gonna leave unread, not gonna lie. You can do that. You can also block her. You can also unfollow her. You know? Like, this is... You have the responsibility for yourself. And you have the responsibility to regulate your own emotions. If, for example, you don't want to feel like shit every day, and you feel like if she's like, whenever you get one of those pictures from her again, and there's this message popping up, the notification with her name, her profile picture, and being like, oh, send you a picture. And this is always reminding you of that she dumped you and is always making you feel like shit. It's your responsibility to draw the lines which you need emotionally, you know? I feel like if I do that, it's just boosts her ego, so I'm not gonna. Don't think about her, because you don't technically know what's going on with her. Like, you don't know, like, maybe she's already regretting that she dumped you. Maybe she just dumped you because she felt like she's bad for you. You know, there's a lot of different stories which can go on. And you never know the story of the other person. So I would never make choices based on your assumption on the story of the other person. Because this is going to lead you to sort of like a life where you don't actually live your life, but you react to the lives around you. You know? You need to do what's right for you. And if it boosts her ego, good for her, right? But if that's better for you, with your own emotions, it's like, it's a win-win, you know? And I feel like this is like, you need to do what's good for your emotions. And if it gives her a little ego boost, whatever, give it to her. Maybe it doesn't even. Maybe she's gonna regret it and she's gonna think like, oh, damn, like I fucked up. Or something, you know? Like, sometimes girls break up with boys because they actually want to see if they matter, because this is what society taught us, right? Like, boys are gonna chase us. And like, if he really loves me, he's gonna chase me, and he's not gonna take my dumping him. But it's toxic. It's anyways toxic. Like, we learned this, but it's toxic. So it's like, there can be a lot of different explanations for this, but all of those explanations don't really, like, help in any way, you know? Because this is about you and about the life you want to live. And if you feel like you're gonna get over the breakup, over these, like, negative feelings easier, if you just don't get those goddamn notifications from her every day, and they really piss you off, and every time you get them, you're like, you just sort of, you notice how you just feel like shit afterwards, you know? It's your choice whether you get them or not anymore. And you're gonna tell me you will keep those negative emotions just to not give her an ego boost? You know? It's like, I don't know. Like, this is like punishing yourself to not give someone else something good. And I feel like you shouldn't punish yourself in any way. Do I even want to know what you did in the morning? Okay. I'm sorry. I love the pettiness. I love how we see the pettiness as something so mean. I mean, she's ignoring you too. Like, that's, it's not maybe the fine option or whatever, but you can do that. Like, you don't need to be polite to everybody, you know that? Like, I mean, it's of course like you should be polite to everybody who has to hang around with you, sort of. Because that's sort of the agreement we make as a society, right? Like, you do have to be around people, like, polite to people who don't want to be around you right now, but don't really have a choice. So, for example, co-workers. Like, if you're shitty to co-workers, it's, like, really annoying, and you may be gonna get fired. Like, if you're shitty to, I don't know, like, people on the bus, you maybe get thrown off the bus. Because, like, those people don't choose to be there. Like, they can't really just leave, Like, they're sort of, like, forced to be there with you. And then we, as a society, sort of, like, agreed, okay, like, we're gonna, like, be polite. But like, I don't know, like, if there's someone like pissing you off the entire time, like on purpose, and they're like coming to you for whatever reason, you can also, like, you can act pissed off, Like, it's fine to feel your emotions, sort of. It would be something else to actually like hurt her or something in any way, Like, there's obvious lines to this. But it's also like, I don't know, like, the sort of pettiness also shows how it's attached to her still, right? And I feel like the easiest thing to get over it is to detach the emotions from her. And what I sort of mean by that is that if you feel angry at someone, this emotion is not really going away if you don't get any type of resolvement. Which, if it's attached to a person, is sort of hard to get, But if you, rather than that, just concentrate on the feelings you feel, that you're sad because you were dumped. And you feel used because the relationship went 2 weeks and then, like, out of nowhere, it just ended. This is something you can resolve on your own, And sort of like I said before, it can, like, people can hurt us without even sort of like meaning it, Like, she might have the inner story that she didn't want to pull you down, because she thought like she's bad for you or whatever. She might have the inner story that, like, she needs to test if you really love her and, like, see if you're gonna chase after her. And it doesn't matter if that's like toxic or non-toxic, but like, there's a lot of different options to her in her story. Like, maybe she didn't even mean to hurt you, but still did. And this is not really something which is like then really attached to her, right? But it's just something like you were hurt by this. And this is something you tend to, and you have the responsibility to fix. Like, if you feel hurt, you have to sort of like help yourself with those emotions and regulate those emotions. And if you, for example, you stay in situations where you feel like shit and you like are reminded of that hurt the entire time because, for example, you keep that Snapchat chat with her where like always the notification is sort of reminding you of that. You maybe, I don't know, like you pull those pranks again, which is also like really focused on her. And then it's like every day, multiple times, it's going to be about her and not about you. And I don't know, I feel like this is something where, I mean, you can do, but I don't think it's really, it's changing anything, Yeah, just do it. I'm just gonna eat my really soggy cereal. You can't? What do you mean? You don't remember? Do you remember it? Mm. Yeah, the jazz is nice, right? I like it too. By the way, do we like this camera light more than I like color, not camera lights? Oh, this is really orange. Anyways. The orange one is when I have the like windows open, I think. That's when it works really well, I think. But yeah. But how do you like the new stream overlay? Mm. I really like it. It's like I was like unsure about it. But I sort of really like it. I think it's so cute. I don't know, like I feel like, oh, but then it's not so professional. I don't know. But I just felt like I really like it. Okay. Hey, so I'm sorry I've been distant lately, but I've been thinking and I don't think I'm ready for a relationship at the moment. I do like you a lot, but I honestly don't think I want a boyfriend. I'm also worried about me doing a tour next year and how the lack of availability will have for you in the near future. I also find myself more comfortable around my friends, so I will often hang out with them. That's not it. Networking pumpkin. Love it. So I'm waiting on the next message. At least that's how I interpret it. That's not it. Really does get cold outside. For us here as well. Oh. Can't be bothered to go through the rest of the editing. But to sum it up, she said she thinks Naf is a little bit cringe and wants to stay friends. Then she said, I hope I didn't hurt your feelings. Okay. Do you understand her side, her perspective? No, it's fine. I think we have a picture. But how do you interpret what she is saying? Like, I understand, but she's acting off and teasing me, sort of. How is she acting off and teasing you? I mean, she did say she wants to stay friends, no? Wouldn't that explain keeping in touch with you? Or what do you think? Yeah, but like it's not full convos when I try to continue the conversation, she shuts it down.